So after like a huge bunch of months, I'm finally done White Noise, which is why I haven't like uploaded a video in a month because I've been stuck on this one book, and I'm finally done it. And safe to say, I don't understand anything. Like I'm genuinely like I'm gonna have to come to like reread this once I get smarter or something because I feel like when I'm reading this, I keep on feeling like there's some deeper meaning here that I'm just not getting. Like obviously I can like I can notice that there's like a lot of stuff about like consumerism, obviously like death, that's like a huge thing in the book. Obviously also spoilers, you know, because I'm like reviewing it, well, talking my thoughts on it. You know, fear of death, consciousness, white noise from all the consumerism stuff. I thought like the black particle stuff would have a bigger impact. Actually, it kind of does, right? Because of the whole fear of death thing and how you got like the nioxalone thing. But anyways, I thought it come like earlier in the book. It comes like halfway. It only starts in part two. Cause in the summary, that's what like they lead off of, right? They're like, oh, you know, his life changes when this black particle event occurs. That only happens like 100 pages then. Um, but overall, I feel like it's a pretty good book, but also it's kind of boring. Like it's a good read, but also I had to keep on like splitting it into chunks when reading it because I like keep on wanting to do something else. It's not very like with some of the other books. Once I pick it up, I can't put it down. Right? I can totally put this down, but it's not like it's bad either. Like I feel like it's really well written, but sometimes the sentences are also written like really confusingly, and like there's a lot of words I don't know too. So I feel like it's a harder read because of that. And oh yeah, so I have some bookmarks. I have a bookmark site of some quotes I like. I only started doing this at the end because I didn't have that many bookmarks. Because I had to use the bookmarks too, save where my spot was. So he's talking to the doctor, which I don't know if he's lying to the doctor. Okay, there's like also a huge thing about like language too, and like how language shapes your perception of like reality or something. Like, for example, um, on the airplane, the pilots are like, everything's cool. They didn't say that exactly, but like essentially they were like, everything's cool, we're not crashing. And so everyone was calm and the plane didn't crash, right? And also like at the end when he's talking to like Willie Minks or something, um, he's like, "You're getting shot at, not shooting him." Willie Minks is like, "Oh my god, ah!" Or he's like, "Plane crashing," and we're like, "Oh my god," you know, like that. So there's like a lot of like power of language stuff, and then like he keeps been trying to like use the power of language to sort of shape his own life because you can see that there's like a clear one how language shapes other people's lives, but I don't think it really works for him. Like the he's kind of avoiding his own death and stuff like that, and that's like a huge thing of like avoiding death in this book, and also like the homicidal nature of man or something. But I'm not sure if it's like satirizing it or like trying to discuss it or actually like all they're thinking it is that there's like people are genuinely really like violent or something. Anyway, so he's like lying to this doctor to try to get some sense of control, I think. And he's like, and then there's one part where he's trying to convince the doctor that he's living this super healthy life to sort of offset the fact that he like has poison inside of him. He's like, yes, I thought, reward my virtue gives me life. And then he's like, I've never had milk, which he thinks makes him really healthy, but milk is healthy. Do you think he like drink unpasteurized milk? That's really weird. And then, oh yeah, here was this part, the plane stuff. I said, I detest falling plane. He looked at me, gripping the arms of the chair, the first signs of panic building in his eyes. Plunging aircraft, I said, pronouncing the words crisply, authoritatively. He kicked off his sandals, rolled himself over into the recommended crash position, head rolled forward, hands clasped behind his knees. That's not my knees. Anyways, um, yeah, I think it's a really good book, but I clearly did not understand a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff like other characters too, like Murray, B, and they like go into like this a lot of interesting stuff about them. I really like Babette as well. I like that they have like a pretty much a happy marriage, except for like the fact that he's there's a lot of times where he's like, don't say stuff like that. That's not a thing Babette would say. like, is she a character to you, not a person? I don't know. Like, I'm sure there's some deeper meaning to it, but I just don't get what. And you know, and then he got the handgun, which came in with his fear of death from Babette's father, and you know, B's like whole independence thing, and like how he's like remarried multiple times. And his whole Hitler studies thing. I don't get the whole Hitler studies thing. Like, surely the author had chosen him to study Hitler for a specific reason, but why? I don't know. I have no idea. And then like there's him struggling to learn German. I guess maybe that's like him failing to like get a grasp on this language, so he's failing to get a sense of control over his reality. I don't really know, but overall I would recommend it. Maybe reread it a few times. I'm definitely gonna have to reread it. Not now. I'm gonna go and find a different book. I have wanted to read Babel or Babel, I don't know how to pronounce it, for a while. So I'm gonna probably read that next. Or maybe like Messy Cities, I might do some nonfiction, or I might like go borrow a memoir. Maybe I wanted to read Boswell's Enlightenment, so I might go read that next. And also, you know, admire this cover. It's really nice. I really like this cover. I might also read the other Penguin Orange books. You can't really see it, but just know they're there. You can search it up. Okay. Bye.